Hello everyone and welcome back. We're going to be playing more standard today on the ladder in arena. We're going to be playing mono blue, obviously. But if you haven't seen mono blue or you haven't been really playing standard that much, it's a very competitive deck and also incredibly budget friendly, so it's high in popularity a little bit. You only need 4 rares to really complete the deck, 5 if you want to play a 1 of Odawara if you haven't gathered one. But the only other 4 rares is Djinn. Main thing we're trying to do, fill the graveyard, filter our hand incredibly with all of our draw spells. We have 4 Consider, 4 Impulse, which look top 4, put a card in our hand. Thirst for Discovery, draw 3, discard 2. If we discard a basic land, which we play 22 of. So a lot of times this is 3 mana, draw 3, discard 1. And then 1 Flow for Knowledge, draw a card for each island we control. Considering we only play islands, this can sometimes be 5 mana, draw 5, and then discard 2, or because we reduce it, it can be 4 mana, draw 6, 7. Late game, it just gets so much better. It's a complete hand refill most of the time. And then our interaction, we have Spell Pierce, Make Disappear, Negate, and Essence Scatter in terms of on the stack interaction. You can kind of argue Slip Out the Back might be that as well, because we are responding to removal with this card. We're not waiting for anything. Our only non-stack-ish interaction will be Fading Hope. We want to bounce their creature back to their hand. We can do it with little creatures in order to scry if we need to, or we just do it to the creatures that they've tapped out to play and kind of set them back a turn. And then we can hold up the Essence Scatter to counter it, or if it's something else, we can hold up Make Disappear, maybe get that value back if they only have 1 mana floating, and then Spell Pierce, follow it up with any maybe counter spell that they play. But we're going to get in there. We got our big threats, we got our interaction. We're going to see what happens and get into the games. Okay, our opponent goes first. We have Spell Pierce, which is generally the better early play card. We also have a Consider to play. We have Thirst to get deeper into our deck, and a Djinn and an Essence Scatter. Definitely a really good on the play hand, but on the draw it could be somewhat questionable. We're gonna go ahead and hold up this Consider and Spell Pierce. We see a blue-green land. Oh, playing Simic, it seems. Could not be. Ask and Consider. Ramp. Okay, they keep both on top. That's interesting. We're gonna get rid of this negate. The things we're gonna be wanting to interact with is creatures. Also trying to find another land here. They just concede. Okay, they're just not a fan of mono blue, I guess. All right, that's free rank up. Nice. Opponent goes first. We have a Make Disappear, a Negate, Talarian Terror, and Impulse on end step. So we're going to go ahead and keep. We have the lands that we kind of want. Esper. Essence Scatter is going to probably be better than Negate. Thalia? No, we get away from Thalia. That's incredible for us. Go ahead and pass. Thalia, big menace to what we're trying to do. They do nothing. We'll Impulse on end step. We could grab this land, which I kind of want to because that allows us to eventually hold up more interactions. So we're going to go with that. Kind of sucks. We had to put the Flow of Knowledge on the bottom. It's a 1 of, so we won't have that big refill lurking in our deck. Unless we somehow shuffle. I can't think of anything that would allow us to. They're just going to keep doing nothing. I'm just going to keep on keeping on, I guess. We could grab us other Essence Scatter, but we have Make Disappear and Essence Scatter already. So I'm going to grab the Talarian Terror. Eventually just play these 2 ones. Spin the land. Thirst. Djinn. Very nice. This is a time where we could play this Djinn and slam it, but I think I would rather wait, play this Thirst, make these cheaper, play a Djinn, hopefully hit another land, actually discard 2 different cards, and then hold up 2 counter spells. So let's go with that. There's also a 3/4. They literally haven't done anything in 4 turns, so you have to assume that they have some amount of interaction. Bank Buster's annoying. I don't think we're going to have a whole lot of value out of a negate. So we're going to go ahead and hit that. Making these cheaper. They do nothing. We don't hit on land. So I'm actually going to go ahead and slam this Djinn now. They remove it. We have a backup one, so I don't really care. They play Essence Scatter. So they're actually Esper Control. Like, straight up. I was kind of assuming under the impression that it was Esper, what am I thinking? Esper, like, Rafine. Kind of where I was. So, I'm actually going to wait, play 2 of these instead then. I'm going to play a Thirst. If I don't hit a land, like, so be it. They can bring back the Bank Buster. Holy moly. I did not want to figure out the words to do that. Pass this Thirst. We hit a land to discard. We have another Djinn. A negate as well. So I'm gonna play Djinn down, I think. I just let this go. I think I just let this go. Just hold up interaction on their turn. There's no need to fight over something that I don't think's too incredibly valuable with what our hand looks like right now. Could have slammed the Solarian Terror, but then we go shield down. Don't really need to. We have a negate, make the Spear Essence Scatter. Counter, they're going to draw a card. We counter draw a card again. I would assume this is fishing for a land. No find on land. This is time to slam the Djinn. Djinn sticks. We're really happy with that. Djinn is going to be incredibly hard for them to get off the board. They board wipe, I slip out the back, and then I protect with a negate. They hold up Wandering Emperor, I negate that as well, also with a make disappear. Back up. They can attack me all they want, but my pressure's a lot more than theirs. Both at 20 and I win the race. Especially if I get to untap, which seemed like I'm going to. On my turn, they're going to try to make me fight for it now. Go for the throat. I could just slip out to back this and then play these for 1. I think that's a little bit better. It also protects it from a board wipe. We'll go for this. That gone, so that just fizzles. Draw. I'll play a pair number 1. Having a negate up makes me also want to slam the second one. Yeah, why not? Worst case scenario, they depopulate the board. I could Fading Hope one of these back to my hand. Still also doesn't remove my Djinn. They're digging for lands. Find one. Attack. Sure. Blocking all day. Being Gonjo. Not. It screams to populate even more to me. If I counter this, they can easily have a make disappear. I'm gonna pick this one back up. I'm gonna let this depopulate go. Again, I have this Djinn online. Djinn is gonna be enough damage on its own if I'm able to protect it. You hit a basic, not necessarily what we want to see, but what we'll take. Bring my 8/5. Very nice. Play this other Solarian Terror. Back down that you know about. Play my island. I have 5 mana available. I can always Fading Hope the Djinn back plus negate, and Essence Scatter is live. As Scatter not necessarily being as good in this matchup as I thought it was going to be. Also, I'm okay entirely letting Tolarian Terror go with this, make this appear. See what happens. I have a lot of mana, making it not necessarily useful. Also up on cards. They have 2 more that they can draw. Farewell. Kind of, in a way, the thing we need to counter the most. We cannot let this resolve at all. Let's tap them out of mana. And then we'll negate. Alright, played land for turn, I believe. It let it go. Perfectly fine with me. We're gonna be dead for lethal. Upkeep, Infernal Grasp. Now they're just dead no matter what. So the other thing that I was thinking they might be considering there is potentially... Please let me view Battlefield. They could have potentially activated a Bank Buster, making a 1/1, and then either blocking with that 1/1 here and hoping to then board wipe there instead of going for this Infernal Grasp. But they also could have blocked with Bank Buster if they wanted to do that instead and keep the 1/1 around to screw up the other Bank Buster because they don't really want to tap it down. So a little bit confusing there, like a hard spot for them definitely. But Fading Hope the token or the Bank Buster, they wouldn't be able to block anyway, so it'd be fine. I get to go first. We have a pretty land heavy hand, but Odawara in this spot is going to be treated as a spell. Going first, have him make disappear Essence Scatter and a Haughty Djinn, I think is fine enough. The cool part about Haughty Djinn and Tolarian Terror that doesn't really get talked about, especially Haughty Djinn in of itself, it's not a legendary. So they can just stack. A little part of me really thinks I'm just slamming this Haughty Djinn here. I don't have a whole lot of draw spells, so if they just like don't do anything or play another Bank Buster, I'd rather have this down. Anointed Keeper. Not entirely sure what that's going to name. If it's Tolarian Terror, that's pretty funny because it still gets reduced, I believe. But I could see them naming Essence Capture. This isn't Capture, right? Oh my god. They named the wrong card. They named the wrong card. They meant to name Essence Scatter. They named Capture. Oh no. Oh no. That's really funny. I don't know if they realize that. So, a tip whenever you're resolving those spells, like, maybe that's what they wanted to name. I don't know. But when you're resolving abilities like that, or like Pithing Needle or something, for example, something different that this format does for us, which I'm not going to let them name the correct name now. They figured out that they named the wrong thing. But this is like a learning lesson. On those cards specifically, I believe it works with Anointed Peacekeeper. I haven't played it, but it's worked with every other card before. Normally when these come up and a bar will show up on the middle of the screen for you to make the name, the initial cards that you'll see is everything that you've seen that your opponent has played and that you have played, I believe. So you can always pick from there so you don't mess it up. But like right here, they probably started typing in Essence Scatter, but Capture came up and they just clicked it. So they made a little mistake there. It's double blue. It's also, I don't even know if it's legal right now. As you saw, this card was from Ravnica. That's not legal. So it kind of sucks for them that they messed that up. They went to make it up and then I countered it. So a little tip there. We have Consider. Fading Hope, Essence Scatter. Fading Hope being good if they are creature deck to lead into our Essence Scatter. We have the one of Flow of Knowledge, so I kind of want to keep it for that. And we're probably going to end up drawing into a land. Now that I say that, I will get made at screwed, so it will be fine. Value's going to break my heart here, ain't it? We did hit a land, though. But Thalia's going to upset me, I think. This hits. Thalia comes down. We're going to consider. Nothing comes down. We're considering now anyway. We're going to bend and negate. Doubt that that's going to be entirely too relevant. Player of the land. Hold up. Scatter. I have a flash threat. The 1/1 that makes 1/1s. Or they could be playing the 3/1 that can stack blow up an enchantment. A Brutal Cathar, but now that I have Brutal Cathar in my head, I can't get it out. Nothing again, so I'm going to go ahead and Impulse. Playing the control deck here, you're just going to let this 1/1 hit you. This 1/2 hit you all day. You don't really care. Don't care too much to defend it. Hopefully in 18 turns I can figure out something that's bigger than this 1/2. Seraph. I could just Fading Hope this. I could Thirst, because I kind of want to get to a land. I think that's a little more important here. This is a spot where we could counter this, but we're going to actually invest in a couple more cards not to. Give it lifelink, I guess. Also, this 3/3 on its own, still not too troublesome for us. So let's do this. You hit a land. I'm actually going to decline discarding the land. And I'm going to get rid of Slip Out the Back. Probably one of these Thrilling Discoveries. I want this land drop. I want to make land drops more than anything. So let's go ahead and we're going to play this Tolarian Terror down. See what they're into. They can't really block or give out lifelink. They'd have to give it flying if they wanted to do anything too relevant. And before combat anyway, I'm probably going to bounce this Seraph. Let's see what they do. A red land. Idiot comes down. Yeah. Annoying, nevertheless, but not necessarily the best. Combat here. We get to put this on here, probably giving it flying. Okay. Training. Gonna go to a 2/3. Not too big of a deal. We're gonna go ahead and Fading Hope here. I'm gonna save a little bit of damage if I can. Also something to worry about. Now they can't play it back down, so we're gonna Fading Hope it again. Land's not awful. Get to the land, keep a Thirst in play. Comes back. We also have Flow of Knowledge, which is kind of cool. We're going to keep this back to block his 2/3 now. Don't want many more lands now, so if Thirst ever becomes relevant this spot, we will be discarding a land this time around. This full mana for this Steel Seraph, we will counter it. Probably just going to come to our turn. I can't imagine they attack. Let's see what we get. No land here, so we have to discard 2. Slip Out the Back's the worst. Body Djinn's better than Tolarian Terror. I think we want this flow to completely refill. This is one of the scenarios we were talking about. We hit a land. Not the worst. Wish we would have hit it slightly earlier. But get this Haughty Djinn down. Don't allow them to attack me. Hold this bodyguard back. I say bodyguard, but it's a serpent. You know why it's a bodyguard. Could be another Seraph. all in, all out. We're countering, and now we have a massive amount of card advantage whenever we cast this. Fading Hope's good. Let's cast this flow. Let's see what we can do. Discard 2 cards. Gonna be the 2 lands. Don't necessarily need those. Do this. Let's go ahead and figure out what our situation is with this consider. Bend the other land. Impulse here. That's great for us. Can't imagine too much terrible things going to happen after this combat. They let it go. Okay, well, you're dead. Let it go through, and then we just kill him on the spot. Welcome to one-shot territory with mono blue. I repeat, target is within range. Surprised they didn't just block. So we are here with the post-game wrap-up. I don't know exactly how many matches we're going to end up having in this video, but it was like really hard to actually get them recorded because of the server issues that I'm having and experiencing right now. If you're playing against any later game strategy or any jank, you're going to absolutely crush it. This deck punishes those for the most part. Your hands line up pretty well. It does its thing incredibly well. You are really, really soft to mono red. A lot of times you're just not able to get established in time, or by the time you play a Haughty Djinn down or you get Slayer and Terror in 1 mana, it's just too late. You're already dead or within bolt range with a lightning strike. But other than that, sometimes like you can kind of run into like a Fading Hope as to scatter their creature back, like that type of thing if they're playing a little bit slower than normal, or they try to play a Mechanized Warfare, and then you can eventually just get ahead of them with card advantage. But mono red is basically your nemesis. Flow is pretty cool. I think a 1-of is a nice spot. 2 at max to me. You want it to refill, not to clunk up your hands for sure, or you'll be discarding it to a Thirst for the most part. Thirst's really good. Impulse is incredible. The spells in terms of countering, in terms of best of 1, seem to fit pretty well with what you wanted to do. Didn't have too many spell pierces, it felt like. Didn't have too many negates. These are being like spotlighted is kind of like the harder cards used, especially Essence Scatter as well, because they don't counter everything. They kind of counter some things, so you have to be a little bit careful with them. And running too many copies of them, you have to know the meta on these spots. So sometimes as Scatter can go down, Negate can go up, or Make Disappear can go up, Negate can go away entirely, things like that. So these are kind of your cycle spells that you want to monitor if you're playing this deck a lot. These ones over here are pretty much always going to be in the deck. Maybe Fading Hope goes down to a 3 or 2 of to fit in a second flow if you're playing a lot of control or something like that. But overall, especially for what the deck is, the deck's really competitive, really good. It can definitely get you to Mythic at any point, and it will operate pretty well in most scenarios. But thanks for watching. I hope you all enjoyed. We'll see you around in the next one.